It's really bizarre how these characters act socialist and are very into socialist concepts hardcore when they oppose the quote National Socialist Party so much, i.e., the Nazis. It's almost like the writers don't understand what the Nazis stood for. They want to pretend like it's all about the Nazis stand for white people, and that's what the modern day JMS type pretends like the Nazis were. But if you look historically, there was this whole platform around socialism, which is eerily similar to the stuff that Captain America is interested in promoting here. It's bizarre. But this is a very bizarre issue number one. If you remember, JMS was responsible for the Superman walking around deal, which was extremely boring for several issues before he quit and didn't even finish his own series. And it looks like this is a similar start here. You get this weird take of Captain America talking in dialogue here. Lots of people wonder where superhero stories get started. Now, why would Captain America be thinking that? Why, and he's also a guy from the 1940s. Is he thinking lots of people? And so he's got this quirky, jokey tone to his voice here, which is almost exactly the same again as JMS did with Spider-Man when he started out things. It's like this is not Spider-Man though. This is a much more serious gravitas character who's he's a man out of time. He's back from the 40s. He's got very rigid morals. He should be a conservative patriot at the end of the day. But of course, these guys don't know how to write patriots because they don't actually have any patriotic blood in their bodies. These people hate America. If you look at JMS's Twitter, you can see that quite well. And so he's fighting against somebody, and you get an opening in action. But it's pointless action because it's some random character that he stopped without trying, and then it just goes to hours later, and he's in a house with just tons of boring talking. And again, this becomes Captain America walking around without a Captain America suit. It's almost the same Superman construction story that he did before with the art is extremely stiff though. And you're getting these turned around neck things where they're just it's the same panel, but he copied and pasted and changed the figure just a little bit. Lots of that going on in this issue. And that you always know that's a bored artist who's trying to phone this in really quickly when that happens. And so the rent is too damn high. And here it is, somebody's going to shut down this slumlord place, which it is a slumlord place. And they're going to raise it to the ground, build a new skyscraper, and of course, and evict all the tenants. It's a blatant reference to Donald Trump to try to tie him to the Nazis, which is going to happen later in the issue. It's oh God, please, really, guys? The real estate developer's bad. So Captain America calls up Tony Stark, and of course, as a good socialist does, he calls upon his future Avengers paychecks and just has Tony Stark wire that over to him to just buy him the building, which costs millions, right? Because this is New York property. So we're talking millions of dollars of taxpayer money is just given to Captain America through the Avengers deal. And then he puts rent control on it, so it's not even going to be profitable. And rent control is, of course, a big socialist thing where you should have controlled rent for the tenants and all that. And then it's Captain America just talking to people for a lot of deals. And he goes back and again, same panel. Again, they use this trope so much ever since Bendis. Bendis was the one who made this happen so many times. It's so boring. Now, some of the art looks nice here, but again, it's just stiff talkie panels through the whole. Is this a superhero book? Where's Captain America? Sue Richards wants him to help with something. She makes a joke about whammons, because we got to do that in Modern Deal. And he goes and helps, but again, it's a throwaway thing. This is the second throwaway superhero thing in the issue where it's doesn't really matter. It's not Captain America's story. He's just part of this Fantastic Four thing going on. And so then he goes back in time, and we learn about him being a Horatio Alger type. He was going to work his way up and make his own way back in the day. And again, it's just him walking around, buying groceries. So there's a guy who wants his help. He's of course an Asian guy, with a baby who can't get work, but Captain America's just going to hire him for some reason. And then we go, there's this rich billionaire guy who's trying to find a fountain of youth or something like that in the past. He gets eaten up by some weird monster thing. And then he meets an AIM agent. And if you notice, there's been 6 pages of Captain America out of 30 something pages here. So again, it's a lot of walking around, not much happening. But the actual story only develops here. So this AIM thing is pretty cool. If this was the prologue and the guy was hey, I'm trying to like rekindle AIM, and I'm trying to like, and you're a brilliant scientist. Will you join me? I've got this like demonic force working for me, or something like that. That'd be all right. The colors are a little weird and stark here too. You notice like the like weird saturation of the colors. It makes everything look very plasticky, and it almost looks like these were done with like 3D models just moving their heads. Like, see, it's the same shot again. They're doing that same thing again. Lots of dialogue. It's like it's the TV show because they had to not have the effects budget. So there's lots of talking heads talking throughout the whole deal. And then, of course, Captain America walks, and he's starving. He gets a sandwich, and it's a Nazi rally. Oh, no. But, I mean, I guess the only bad thing the Nazis are doing here, they're not doing anything bad. They're just giving people free sandwiches. Like, what's bad about that? But you're supposed to just hate them just because they're Nazis, even though they're giving all the people free sandwiches, including the poor people. So it doesn't make sense. And that's the end of the book. So you get this back in time where he's like a kid before he's Captain America, and he's discovering the Nazis. And they're giving him sandwiches because they're such evil people that they make sandwiches for poor people. Huh. I don't get it. and the actual storyline of Captain America is not even like it's 3 pages. This AIM thing is just starting, and that's there's only 3 pages of the book that actually develop anything for real. The rest of it's just kind of nonsense, and then spouts a bunch of like socialist propaganda. So a very bizarre start to the book. All the images look very flat, kind of boring on this. The colors are, like I said, oversaturated. Really just a poor attempt at a first issue. It does not grip you whatsoever. So bizarre start for Captain America, and it's going to go even more politically off the rails, I'm sure, as it goes on. It's really sad that Marvel doesn't respect this character, doesn't respect what he should stand for, and doesn't actually try to put it together a superhero comic anymore. They're not trying to have fun anymore. It sucks. So 5 out of 10, and hopefully the next issue gets better. Leave a comment down below, hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.